And then we have a group of countries, some of who are up here already, that within the last year truly completed the circle or the loop that Zaina described, the loop of trauma care, and have ATLS, PHTLS, and ATCN. And those countries are Lebanon, Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay. So if there are representatives from those countries, please come up.
Ini anak ng kulikuran. Nakakahiyang pumunta rito. Ang pinaka-nalak mo kasi ito sa kanya sa wakit. Daming beses binanggit pa nga nito.
Where is our 25-year poster hung up? Did the college put it somewhere there?
Sure, I took it. I took it and gave it to Jack. Jack's still there. It was in the November and December course last year. I took it with me and
So I hope the college put something
box.
Yeah. I gave EMSC a plug when I
Ang natinig ko ako,
resigned
kasi
as
bilang
president.
nakita.
The president gets to sort of say thank you to everybody. I said, yeah, it's about time we remembered that we have some real assets in this college, and they tend to get ignored by administration.
It's true. They get ignored and they get trying to put a lot of
Take
forward. I mean, as you know, there's some other courses that have been developed. Which is really taking off.
Yeah.
And again, it's sort of
1, 2,
there's a few people
pwede mo pa-selfie.
selling out, and they're building an understanding of
Ay.
democracy. And eventually building it sounds like a strong force.
Yeah.
But it's very much geared towards media positions. That's why. So I don't think it'll, and it's at a different level. So I don't.
Good. Yeah.
That's appropriate. 10 years ago.
Stamina.
Where is he? Okay, yes.
He's one of the teams.
Interesting how many significant countries don't have ATLS, often because of really personal things.
Yeah.
Finland doesn't have it, I'm sure, because Aaron doesn't like it. That's American. Yeah, because he's been involved with DSTC.
All of us know how important the coordinators are, and one of the best things I think we have done is understand that the coordinators need to be recognized, and so I'm going to ask Leslie Dunstall, who's the chair of the coordinator group, to give the next award.
Thanks, Karen. I'm really thrilled to be able to give this award. This is a very special person, a person I've known for many years. Donna, Alison, can you just come up and I'll... Now, this award is presented to an individual who has excelled in any of the following criteria: an outstanding contribution to the ATLS program, a major contribution to trauma education or research, demonstrated leadership in the management of the injured patient. Donna has contributed in all of these areas of trauma care. We know that ATLS is a multidisciplinary trauma education for doctors. It is also dependent upon the knowledge, the skills and the commitment of a very dedicated team of people. And an integral member of that team is always the course coordinator. ATLS is not recognised for the leaders it produces, rather leadership. Donna has demonstrated the ability to lead, guide, direct and show the way with trauma care and management. ATLS history is filled with accomplishments and significant events. Donna is certainly one of those remarkable people who have volunteered her time to make things better. She's been part of the driving force which has positive changed the management of the trauma patient through being part of a course in which its principles have become the gold standard of trauma care worldwide. Donna Allerton has demonstrated the competence, the compassion and the commitment to ATLS, and I believe and truly support that you are very worthy of this award.
So Zaina talked about the common language that we all speak, and we do speak a common language of ATLS as well as ATC and PHTLS. But the words that we use to deliver that language, or the words that make up that language, are obviously different around the world. And there is a huge amount of effort that many of you put in on top of the effort that goes into the ATLS program and what you give of yourselves to the ATLS program. A huge amount of effort that goes into our ability to deliver ATLS to countries around the world that do not speak English. And so we have started recognizing the groups that are responsible for translation efforts. Again, time above and beyond. Time that you try to format things on a page, translate idiomatic English that has no translation. And this year we would like to recognize the group from Brazil for their efforts in translating into Portuguese, but also teaching us how to make the translation process easier for all of you. So I would like the entire group from ATLS Brazil to come up and receive this award.
No. I'm doing it.
No oils and pets.
And this next group is a group of people who have contributed in different ways to ATLS, and they represent people from around the world, as you might expect. Some are incredible ATLS providers. Some have contributed significantly to many, many editions of ATLS. Some have contributed to ATLS spread within their region, and if you're not from their region, you may not know as much about them. And some really can't be categorized. And the first person I'd like to recognize falls into that last category. You heard her story, and her husband was actually sitting up here and was her technical support. She's a huge friend to trauma education and trauma programs really around the world, but particularly in her own country. And I would like to recognize, ask Zaina to come up and recognize her for all that she has done for trauma patients.
I just want to say on behalf of myself that I thank you.
One of the things that we have heard needs to be in the team, needs to be in the 10th edition, is team training. Trauma is truly a team sport. And one of the people that has helped us establish that team sport, if you will, around the country is retiring from his position this year. And we would like to, from the ATLS family, recognize Mr. Richard Henn and his role in making it possible for training for nurses who are such an important part of the team and trauma care around the world. Thank you, Richard.
And just a quick word to my family out there. I want to thank you all for your support over these years. It has been a wonderful time, and I will miss you. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to recognize someone from Region 17. And if you're not from Region 17, you may not know this person. But he has been an incredible force for ATLS within Region 17, an incredible supporter, and participated in numerous courses. And Region 17 really has had the most growth of ATLS over the last 2 years. And Dr. Wael Taha is one of the people who is primarily responsible for that. And so we would like to recognize Dr. Taha. Next, from Region 16, again, somebody who has been very active, a former chair of ATLS or EMST in Australia. Australia really served as the model for partnership, which has taken off in Region 14 now, and you'll hear more about that later this afternoon.